I'm here now with Sheree Ellingson, who owns Senior Helpers. And this is a great business because they actually go into your home if you're elderly and make sure that you're doing okay, and they can stay for an hour or more, or just to give like family members peace of mind if you have an elderly parent that needs some help. So welcome, and tell us about your business, Sheree.
Absolutely. My caregivers are my employees. We are licensed, bonded, and insured in the state of Florida to provide personal and companion care services. That includes anything from bathing, dressing, medication reminders, transportation, anything to keep the senior in their home safely. That's what we do.
Okay. Now, I got to be honest with you. My aunt and uncle are down in Delray Beach, Florida, and they are both on hospice right now. And so they have different caregivers coming in all the time. And my aunt sometimes says, well, I don't like this particular lady or something. Okay.
Happens all the time.
Okay. So she's hard to please. God love her. But she's hard to please. And so then they have to try to find someone else to come in and so forth. So you hear this.
That's all. We do that all the time. We change out all the time because you have to have a personality match. We also match personality as well as the needs of each person and what the caregiver can and cannot be qualified to do.
Okay. So, and then your particular caregivers, everyone is background checked.
Yes.
And I want people...
FBI fingerprinted background checked.
Okay. Because if you're in their homes, I mean, they're in your homes, you've got jewelry and things like that. So you want to feel like you can trust them.
Right, right. Exactly. They're also bonded, which means that if anything gets broken or stolen, it's my company that would be taking care of anything, the replacement thereof.
Okay, so so you're on the hook for that, you're liable for that. So what kind of feedback do you get? And because there's sometimes people talk about, gosh, if we get help in the house, it's going to cost a fortune, and that's one of the things you wanted to touch on today.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is not a free service. Medicare does not pay for our type services because we are considered non-medical. Non-medical means anything to do with cooking and cleaning, bathing, dressing, that type of thing. So if you're coming out of pocket with this money, you want to make sure that you have a high quality person, and that's what we do. But there's also a program out there if you are a veteran, a surviving spouse of a veteran, or a veteran and his spouse can also qualify for possibly getting aid and attendance. And for aid and attendance, there are some rules and regulations with it, and I'll kind of go over it as quickly as I can.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And you may qualify. And what this qualifies for is if you are a single veteran, you can get up to $1,830 a month. For a married veteran, you can get $2,169 per month. And for a spouse, you may get up to $1,436 per month.
Okay.
There are qualifiers through VA in order to receive this money. You have to have the need. You can't just receive the money just because you want the money. You have to go with a qualified company, such as Senior Helpers. We are licensed and we are qualified through the state. You can go to us if you need help in a nursing home or an assisted living facility or just home health like mine. This money is there for you. The qualifiers are you have to be over 65 years old. You had to serve during 90 days during a wartime period. You did not have to serve in the war, but during a wartime period. And the wartime periods are World War II, part of Korea conflict between 1950 and 1955. The Vietnam era is also now included, and parts of the Gulf War are also now included now that we're getting people to be 65 years old. It seems like it was just yesterday when the Gulf War was starting.
20 years ago almost.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So there are limitations as far as how much money you can have based upon your age and how much money you must spend in our type of care in order to qualify for it. And if you have questions, just give me a call. I'll be glad to discuss it with you and see if you qualify for it. But it has to be that you're using a qualified company and have a qualified company in place before you can get the money.
Now, can somebody use your services that also has hospice? Can someone say, can we double up on some of these services? Because that's what my aunt and uncle are doing right now. And I hadn't even thought about that. But explain how that works. So.
Well, hospice, when hospice comes in, which I love hospice, every one of them are outstanding in their field for what they do. But they're primarily there to provide as as much care as needed at one particular time. It is not a 24-hour service until the very end of life.
Right.
So at first they'll start with coming in with a nurse to evaluate. They'll send in a CNA to help with the showers. They'll provide all the medications and hospital beds, equipment that are needed. And then you're left. And you're like, okay, well,
now
this
what?
person is up all night long.
Yeah,
and
that's a problem.
And I'm not getting any sleep. And that's when you call us.
Okay.
And we go with hospice as a partnership with hospice. We tell them what's going on. They tell us what's going on, so that we have permanent, constant care no matter what the situation is.
Right, and that's where my aunt and uncle have benefited, because they actually have somebody that comes in at 8 at night and sleeps there, and then it leaves at 8 in the morning. So if either one of them have any issues, which is exactly what your service would be doing, then, because they could fall. I mean, something bad could happen. They really need around-the-clock care. And this is great, too, if you don't want to put somebody in like a nursing home, or they're afraid, oh, God, I'll be a ward of the state or something. They actually have the care in the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also provide care in nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living facilities. If you're in the hospital and your spouse has Alzheimer's and they're pulling the tubes out of themselves and they're anxious during the nighttime, we have sitter service where we come in and we sit in the room with them
and talk to them,
calm them down, make sure that they don't pull anything out that should be pulled out.
Don't pull the tubes out.
Don't pull the tubes out. Or your oxygen.
Yeah, don't do that. No, that gives me, a peace of mind to know that service, that your service exists. Now, you do cover most of Jacksonville, although not all of Jacksonville. There's a couple
I do not.
Let's go over that, too.
I cover West Duval, Clay, Nassau, St. John's, just the two zip codes south of 295, which is Old St. Augustine and San Juan Boulevard, down to St. Augustine area.
All right.
And Baker County.
All right. So if anybody, calls you, you can at least point them in the right direction for somebody that would be able to help them within their area code. It's always so nice to have you in, Sheree. I think it's a great service.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
I
help.
do want to congratulate my 2 caregivers of the month. I wasn't here last month in July.
Right.
So Miss Douglas was our caregiver of the month for July, and for August it's Miss Whitfield.
All right.
Great
Yay.
caregivers. Thank you both.
Congratulations, ladies. All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.